If you have a Type 6 middle and you want to change the flint or the flint spring, here's how to go about it. First of all, release the 2 screws. Make sure you're on a firm flat surface with a flat blade screwdriver which correctly fits the slot, and pressure down and turn on both. They are soft brass screws, so be patient and careful with them. If you're having any difficulty releasing them, you can see the 2 threaded holes they screw into beneath. Pour some WD-40 or penetrating fluid into those holes and leave overnight first to hopefully release the threads. Remove the 2 screws, and if you twist and pull, you'll pull the glass plate off the centre. You can then release the striker key as well, which you can see here. Put the 2 glass plate screws to one side because they're quite easily lost, and then it's a question of removing the flint housing cap, which retains the spring. You then need a slotted screwdriver similar to this. Some Torx sets will have them, and we will be offering a similar version on the website at some point. Again, locate it. The key thing here, and the reason you probably need to do this, is the flint often gets stuck in the flint housing tube. It gets wedged against the flint wheel. What you must not do is use the pinion wheel, which is threaded onto a pinion spindle and then soldered, as a means of holding. You have to use a pair of pliers and hold the flint wheel only. If you hold the pinion gear underneath, you will break the solder and probably the pinion spindle, and there's absolutely no need to remove it or damage it. Hold the flint wheel, as you can see, with the pliers, and then locate your slotted screwdriver onto the flint wheel button. Press down on a flat surface and turn slowly. Again, if you're worried about this or having difficulties, liberal doses of penetrating fluid and or WD-40 often work, and that's the flint wheel button, which we've now released. And this one is proving remarkably stiff, but there we go, it's off. Then hold the flint wheel. You should be able to do it with your fingers and just gradually work it up and down until it comes off. You can see that the flint wheel is wedged in there. You need a drill, not to drill it, but something thin like a very small drill to push it out. And the very thing I was going to use to do it now just disappeared, like everything else. Here we go. Just put the whatever it is in, and just you can see the flint just coming loose. If it's long, it may need to go back the other way. There you go. You hear it dropping out there. The flint is actually probably still serviceable, Particularly if you turn it the other way around, they tend to wear the shape of the flint wheel. So there you have it. You can then, if you wish, release the reflector plate. Just be gentle. These are just basically soft tin, and they do get stuck down with dirt. If you just use a flat blade, just ever so carefully working your way around, you should be able to release it. It's usually a combination of dirt and cleaners of brass or the like, which are quite abrasive. There we go. And then you can just carefully, so you don't bend it, work it round until you can release it. There we go. You can see it underneath. You can then clean it. We find often the best thing for cleaning the brass components is 00 wire wool. Don't use anything other than 00, as you'll just scratch everything to bits. And you can clean out where the washers sit, because you do sometimes get traces of asbestos in there, which you need to remove. And there you have your glass plate released and your pinion spindle still intact. Sometimes you may need to free that off just by turning it. What tends to happen is, why you need to be careful, and it will free off, is that the mistake is to use that, as I've said, it doesn't always break, to tighten the flint wheel button up against it, and that simply over tightens the whole mechanism and makes it stiff, so you can't actually get the flint wheel to turn. The flint wheel itself, when it's in position, needs to be loose so it can freely turn when the striker key is pushed in. So there you have it. Thank you for listening.